Guys, finally we have received some sort of answers from the alien UFO reveal that's been going on, and it seems like the CIA and space research team, they apparently found this egg-like object, which is an UFO they claim, inside some sort of a cave. Now, to be honest, I don't know if this whole thing is like really true or like some sort of a hoax that these guys are just playing around or whatnot, but it seems like they released some sort of new footage. Just take a look at this stuff. This is one of the footage that the dude has released, and it seems like, you know, they're carrying the egg with some sort of secured harness. Now, for whatever reason, it seems like, you know, we don't really have any clear footage, and as far as what they've said, it seems like this is all of Antarctica. They're just flying on the chopper in Antarctica, so this is like the footage. You can now see the egg that's hovering over from the chopper, and all of this down there is Antarctica. Now, a lot of people are saying that, you know, this is exactly how Antarctica looks like, and maybe the footage is true and whatnot. And in 4chan, we actually got like a much more detailed image, which was shared by the whistleblower, and here is the image of the egg that he found inside the cave, and this is apparently what it looks like. And he says that it's some sort of an alien craft. Maybe it's an egg or maybe it's a UFO. We don't know. So the only thing that he has been stating is that they have seen this egg, you know, they transported this stuff, they secured it, and he also revealed one of these pictures, which apparently seems like there are different markings, and the markings on this egg is actually the language which was used in order to write the Bible, which is Hebrew language. And he also revealed some crazy details, stating that, you know, the government has been speaking with the aliens, and he claimed some very, very unbelievable stuff. And one of the questions that was asked to him is, how did his voice sound? And according to the astrobiologist I spoke with, the voice sounds like your own. And it's strange. He basically said it sounds like when you're thinking on monologue. And that's basically how he describes the alien speaks. And he's also asked about a few more things where they said, can you let us know anything that he said? Now, keep this in mind that the he that they're referring to is one of those alien creatures that they're talking about, where he says that the alien was born 700 years ago, and these are some sort of spiritual beings. That's why he's not using the word aliens, and he's rather referring to the alien as a he, because it was a male spiritual being of whatever it was. He says that the closer we got to understand who God is was the corpus hermeticum, to what seems to be these Egyptians and Greek gods, which is considered as the pagan gods before Christianity was born. Now, it seems like the alien considers us as selfish and childish, and it also says that we were happier during his time and can't tell you more than this. It seems like their race have already saved us millions of years ago from our creators, who basically engineered us to serve them. The earth should be treasured because it's a miracle. So apparently these alien creatures, they're mentioning that we were not created by God. We were actually created by these beings who are so-called as the fallen angels. Like, they were bad guys. So according to these guys, it seems like they kind of engineered us and, you know, created us. And the Bible already warns us about these things. And they say that these creatures, or whatever these guys so-called the aliens, are called as the Nephilim. And the Nephilim are nothing but the giants who were created by the fallen angels, that God basically threw them out of heavens, and they came all the way down to earth, and they created their own species by mating with human women, and that's how these Nephilims were created. So the Nephilims were basically very strong. I mean, some Nephilims were also huge in size, and none of them were actually looking the same, obviously. So all of these different Nephilims had like different powers. They were like kind of supernatural power thing. And these were not creations of God, whereas mankind, us humans, were creations of God. So all of these things that we're currently seeing as of now, it seems like these fallen angels are finally readying themselves to come back, and it seems like they're setting up for the Project Blue Beam, man. This has been something that the Bible already warned us about, that, you know, the government or whoever is in control, they're going to be creating some sort of a fake alien invasion, and once this happens, they're going to create a fake God as well, and this God is going to be the Antichrist, and he's going to take over the world, and he's going to completely eradicate all of the religious people, and that's when Jesus Christ's second coming is going to be happening. And it's not going to happen very soon. It's going to at least take like 7 years of tribulation period for us to like survive all of those things, and then on the 7th trumpet, Christ is going to be coming back. So apparently it seems like, you know, all of these things are kind of unfolding. And he was also asked another question: what info do you have about their origins and culture and the reason to be here? Now, he said that we are still trying to understand their origins. His notion of space and time is different from us. Now, they came here as space missionaries, and when they arrived, another advanced race was already here. And this race apparently created something called as Homo neanderthalensis. Honestly, man, where the hell do these guys come up with all these words? And they basically created these Homo creatures creatures in order to serve them and help them take over Earth's resources. And however, it was a failure, and Homo sapiens were created later on, and when the space missionaries arrived, they entered into a war with the other race to save us. And ever since then, it seems like these aliens have been protecting us. In fact, back in 1975, they stopped the nuclear war. And the other race, according to the entity, represents what we could become if we don't change. The advanced oppressors with no spirituality to guide us. Now, their last conflict here on Earth occurred in 1561 during the celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the Bible already gives us like a very good description of what this egg kind of thing that these guys have been revealing could end up being. Because if you take a look at this picture that is actually from the scriptures, this is apparently some sort of an angelic being, and we don't exactly have an explanation as to what kind of spacecraft this is, or whether or not if it's spacecraft or some sort of an orb or some sort of an energy, whatever it might be. But it seems like there is someone sitting inside of it, and that could possibly be the angels. Now here, if you look at some of the carvings that's like carved on this egg, apparently it seems like it represents some sort of heretic numericals, and nobody knows what it basically says. So this is the Hebrew language in which the Bible is actually written. Now there's this guy named Billy Kryzak on Twitter, and apparently he's some sort of a video analyst, and he does some of these research on this whole egg stuff that they've just given. And according to him, he states that he's 99.2% sure that these photos of the egg are completely real. Now, my analysis, this is more significant than the videos we have seen in my mind, if these are real UAP eggs or not. Now, let's take a look at what he has to say here.
But honestly, all of his answers more like, I just don't care, right? If they catch me, they catch me, is the feeling that I got from it. I want to read through it again to see if I can get more of a sense of that. But that was, kind of where I felt it was going and kind of coming from. Even if he was LARPing, I got to tell you, this is extremely, extremely interesting stuff. These two images are completely tied together.
A lot of people are saying, this is like AI generated and all this stuff. And this dude kind of, analyzed the whole thing, the whole imagery. And he found out that, these markings are actually in there. I'm not sure who to believe or not, but this is what information we are getting. Now, some people say that, some of the things are literally different compared to the first image and the second image that they've shared. So this could be some sort of an AI generated stuff. I don't think they're different. Look at this stuff, right? Look at the rocks over here. Are they different? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll just leave it to you guys to figure those things out.
Not unique to folks who have experienced seeing an object up close and firsthand. Number one, in this right shot, you have what appears to be hieroglyphics on it, and I could probably estimate that it goes all the way across, and it's completely covered in them. Right? It's the fact of the matter is this is blown out from the strobe, and we're going to get into that a little bit.
And a lot of you guys have been messaging me and commenting on my last video saying that Trump was supposed to reveal all of this stuff about what's going on, about the UFO situation. Why hasn't he given us any answers? And I already promised you guys that I'm going to cover this stuff because Trump recently, he just spoke about this whole situation. Just take a look at what Trump has to say.
Do you remember when Trump said this about the New Jersey drones?
I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And
well, it's the 21st. We still don't have the report yet, but I'm sure he still thinks.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went.
But I do have to give him some credit because on Inauguration Day, he said this.
He actually spoke about this whole stuff. Just take a look at this one. This is the answer that we're going to be getting very soon.
I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things.
So do what you can.
So it seems like, he's doing it. He already asked Susie. We don't know who Susie is, but Susie is apparently the one that's going to give us all of these information as soon as possible. So it's going to be an interesting take when Trump comes out with all of these revealed information as soon as he gets it. And it's pretty sure that, we need to keep him occupied with this question all over Twitter. So keep asking it. Go to Twitter, tag Trump, and keep asking him what's going on with this UFO, what's going on with this X stuff that they just revealed. Are these true? Are these lies? Or these made up stuff that these guys are just doing for attention? Because I don't know, man. It seems like if he's trying to give us like some sort of an real answer, most probably we'll get some of these things out before it's too late. Now on 4chan, these guys actually gave us a lot of different types of answers. And one of the questions that was asked to them, what are some examples of illegal races coming here? Like what species are we talking about? What do they want? To which this whistleblower said that 74 before Christ, Tolia, the sighting occurred during the Mithridatic Wars. And it also happened in 1803, Hitachi province in Japan, in 1954 in Italy, Rose Lotti case. So what is the purpose of all of this reset and what it's going to be achieving? And according to him, it seems like mankind needs to start all over in order to become capable of reaching God. Or so he says, that he claims we are too corrupted as of now in order to reach God. So in order to reach God, we need to, completely get a full reset. Or without this whole reset, it's just going to keep continuing over and over. Now, they also asked, are starseeds real? Do other species incarnate as humans to try and help? Or is that just some sort of a bullshit? And he said, yes, he does speak of interstellar bodhisattvas, which means that yes, these creatures, they can perform some sort of shape-shifting where they can become like humans. They can incarnate themselves as humans, and they can either help us or they can, control whatever kind of stuff they're doing. And there was more questions asked where they asked him why the angelic being was there alone all by himself, to which he refused to answer. And the whistleblower says, believe me, we tried as much as we could. Did the angel being or whatever this alien is say to them what this year's big thing would be? Is it going to be good or bad? To which he replied saying that he speaks of countless natural disasters, a third world war, and a looming conflict which is going to take place between his race and our creators. Now, tensions beneath the surface are apparently reaching a break point. Now, he speaks of a possible reset of human civilization so we can start all over again. So apparently, according to him, it seems like, our creators, he says that the Nephilims are the ones that created us. We are not created by God, is what he says. But according to him, he says that in order to reach God, we need to do a complete reset. And us humans, we're just, some sort of a vessel in which our soul is being kept inside. So according to the whistleblower and whatever this angelic being basically told him, it seems like once we die, we kind of move on to another body of a different vessel. So we're not kind of dead forever, or like we're not going to go reach God, because the things that we are doing in this life is like so corrupted that we're going to take birth once again. So that's basically what he's trying to say. And according to him, it seems like the guys who created us, the Nephilims, they're going to come back and there's going to be a massive war that's going to break out where they want to reset us so that we can once again start building from zero, from absolutely nothing. So hopefully we can, live a completely different type of life on the next reset so that we could reach God, is what, this being is apparently telling him, that this is so against whatever is being taught in the Bible. But at the same time, this is also kind of related to, the things that has already been taught in the Hindu mythology, where you basically reincarnate after your death and you keep, coming back countless times until you're worthy enough in order to reach God. And this was something that's already mentioned in the Hindu Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna mentions that he is the divine being. And he's here to give us a message that you need to live the right way. And if you don't, and if you end up dead, you're going to be reborn once again until you're going to live the right way. And I think Krishna also mentions that he has seen so many different generations of his humans that are completely destroyed and then rebuilt again and destroyed and rebuilt again. And this whole cycle, it just keeps going on and on and on until you're worthy enough to reach God, is apparently what these beings are telling as well. But then we need to be careful, because the Bible already mentions that, there will be a lot of demons that will come down. That these things are definitely the fallen angels, because they're taking away the purpose as to why Jesus Christ sacrificed on that cross. This was the very reason as to why he sacrificed on the cross, so that we can be cleansed in his blood to be worthy enough to cross over to the other world and reach his Father, the God. So obviously this whole thing could be true. Maybe you're never going to reach God or whatsoever. But then if you believe in Jesus and for the sacrifice that that he has done for us, then we are already saved and we will definitely be reaching our Father God. Now, they also asked some more interesting questions where, did the being actually tell you why these things were actually about to change only in 2025? Did something happen? To which he says, to me, yes, but I'm okay now and don't worry about it. Now, the next question is actually something which he speaks about Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior, where he says, where the question was, were there any humans that actually walked alone on this path and were initiated through his own suffering? To which he answers, yes, there were actually many people like that. To which he speaks about the Gautama and Jesus, but there were many others we never knew about. But the one thing that we need to keep in mind is that there were many different saints and many different guys that were like Jesus, but of course they were pretty good guys. I mean, Gautama was a pretty good guy. But however, what's difference between these guys and Jesus is that Jesus died and he rose again. That is like the one thing that kind of eliminates all different thoughts that you might have on who he is and why he's special. And that already states as to why, Jesus is considered as the Son of God and not all of the other guys. Even though they were as good as they claim, and even though, they tried to stay away from sins and did all the good deeds and whatnot, they still are not considered like the Son of God, because they all died and they never claimed the glory, and they never said that there is no way to Father but through me. And that is one thing that Jesus claimed until his last breath. And even when he died, I think the last thing that Jesus said was, forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they're doing. So it's pretty clear that, the entire missionary for Jesus was basically to take birth as a human in order to, be a sacrificial lamb that kind of cleanses all our sins so that we go to his Father God directly. So he was like a sacrifice that was made in a human form for us humans. So these things are definitely one of the most interesting topics. And it seems like as we enclose more information about these UAPs and UFOs and, most of these things that are actually coming out, it definitely seems like it's a very, very interesting stuff that's actually going on around the world. I'm really curious to see what happens next. I'm very curious to see what Trump is actually going to be saying, because whatever information Trump is going to be revealing next, I think it's going to change the world, man. I think it's actually going to be very helpful in order to know what these things are, and hopefully it tells the truth, and hopefully it doesn't hide any of those things. But yeah, honestly, I would love to know what you guys personally think about whatever we've been seeing, whatever stuff that's been going on in the world. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comments. And honestly, guys, trust me, I've been reading all of the different scriptures. I've been trying to learn all different religions and scriptures. I said, no matter what, don't lose your faith in Jesus, because he's the one that can actually cleanse us from all the sins that we have committed. Well, now with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Please just go ahead, take a few seconds, leave your valuable feedbacks or whatever you guys might be thinking, and drop a like on this video if you guys did go on and enjoy this video. And if you found some valuable information from this video, then your support would be absolutely appreciated for this channel. Now subscribe if you guys want to stay tuned on more updates about this whole situation, because I'm going to be covering so much content about this whole documentation and every single thing about proofs of Jesus and Bible and all that stuff. So make sure to go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.